Alrighty, we're going to cover how to go through and do the baby mockups for the different onesies and whatnot. So the first thing we're going to need to do is download the mockups for the onesies. To find those, just go to Adobe Creative Cloud. You should see baby onesies, mockups, and go through here and just download. You can see there's AI and there's PNG. So AI is the Illustrator file. So I would say go through and download the AI file for all the mockups. Unless for some reason there's not an AI, then download the PNG one for that one. Um, I think they all have the AI though. So yeah, go through and download just the AI mockup for all the different ones. And then once you have all those downloaded, what I recommend you do is I typically open them all up together. So I don't have them all open here, but I have most of them open here. So I just have them back to back to back. The reason being is because we cycle through the mockups. Um, so we don't use the same mockup over and over and over again. And then we have the white background mockup. So I recommend opening up most of them or all of them as you're going through and doing it. If you're finding it's going kind of laggy, then you could always just have fewer open at a time. So once we have that set, then we're ready to go and start creating mockups. To figure out what mockup to create, you'll be on a Trello board for baby or onesie designs. And the only column you need to actually worry about is this column titled Megan Approved Designs. And these are basically where we're going to be going to figure out what mock-up pictures we're going to be creating next. So always just start at the very top, and as you can see, the most recent one that we have to work on is this 30 Whaley design. And what that means is we need to go find folder 30. So we'll go back to Adobe, we'll click back, or if you're at the very back, click on files, you will see the baby onesies, and then you will see design uploads 2.0. I don't know why there's two folders here, but it's the 2.0 folder. Um, and then I always sort them by name. We'll go down, find the 30. Sean, this video is for you actually, so give me 1 second to respond for you. But we'll just go to 30, and then you'll see all these different files in here. As you can see, they're basically the exact same thing. There's just like Tio, Tia, Granny, Abuela, Abuela, just kind of fitting different types of people. To start, we're not going to be doing all of them. When you go to a folder and there's this many, just start with like 5. And only because there's so many that we want to get through, we don't want to get too hung up on any one design for right now. So for this 31, we're just going to do like 5 to get going. So what we would do first is we go to the very first one. We're going to click download, and we'll download the PNG, and we'll drag that here. Now this next step is very, very important because Adobe is so picky on this, and I don't know why. We're gonna go here, we're gonna click this, we're gonna click rename. And this all needs to be done in this exact order. So go to this, click rename after we click download. And we're gonna title this, let's see what we're gonna title this. To figure out how to title them, we're gonna go to baby onesies, and then we're actually gonna go to print folder. So there's only 3 folders you need to worry about here. One is the mockups, which you're gonna get your mockups from. One is the design uploads, which is where you'll download the artwork from. And one is print folder. This is where you will basically move the designs to and figure out what design number you're on. So currently the last one I've done is 51B. So that means we're gonna name this next one 52B. Only because we just keep going in numerical order. The B doesn't mean anything, so don't worry about the B. It's just there as a placeholder. It's all about the number. So the last one's 51B. The next one is gonna be 52B. So because we downloaded this one, we're gonna name it 52B, click save. And now we're going to do this again. Again, all in this exact order. Click this, click move, and then we're going to move it to the print folder within the baby onesies and click move here. And yes, we want to continue. And that will have moved it. So now if we go back here and I refresh this page, we should see 52B. There's one we just worked on. And as you see, the Tio design, I really love you, my Tio, that will no longer be here because this is the Tia design. So we're going to basically work on moving all of them out of here. Again, there's so many, so we'll just do like 5 to start. So when you go, don't worry about doing all of them, just do like 5 and go to the next artwork. So we downloaded this, and now what I recommend you doing is opening Adobe Illustrator. And in addition, we actually want to have another file open that is just blank, and you'll see why here in a second. Let's see, what are we at right now? It doesn't tell me. Hopefully we don't go over our time limit. Okay, so we're gonna first go here. We're gonna drag in our design we downloaded, and this was what I say it was. This is 52, right? Yep, 52. Okay, so we're gonna go here, and we're gonna export this file. Export as, and I always just do 52 dumb. The reason being is because we need to dumb down the file because the file is so big. Because Adobe gives you such large files when you download it, it's too big to work with in other programs because we need to upload it to certain programs. So just go to 52 dumb. We're gonna export it to just your desktop for right now. We'll delete them later, so don't worry about it. And then I usually do like medium. You could even just do screen. I think medium will be fine though. And click OK. And then you can actually just go through and you can erase this original file because this is the big file that we downloaded, so we no longer need it. So we'll move it to the trash. We have 52 dumb. Okay, now with this file, or not with that file, we can go through and do Adobe first. So with this file that you already downloaded, just hit Command C to copy it, and then we're gonna paste it. We can just ignore that on onesies. So we need 2 mockups every single time. One mockup that we need is always this one. We always need a pure white background. This is because Amazon has very strict requirements, so we need a pure white background on our onesie. So first, place the onesie on here, kind of, set the sizing so it's centered and like the sizing just looks pretty decent. We don't want it to be too big, too small, somewhere in the middle. That looks pretty good. Once that's good, to File, Export as, and go to your desktop again, and we will just export this as 52 because, as a reminder, we are working on file 52 right now. 52, and you just title it like 52, like Whaley baby onesie. Nothing special, just something to separate it out. And then we're gonna click Export. The 150 is totally fine. And let's see. That's perfect. And then we're gonna go to, let's say the first one, and we're gonna put it in here, and we wanna make it a similar size to the one that we just made. So it's about that big on that one, and then we're gonna make it, maybe that big. So I don't know how perfect this is. I'm going a little quick here. So, when you're doing, just kind of maybe take an extra second, but I think that looks pretty good. So we'll just do that, File, Export as, and again, we'll do like 52, like cute whale baby onesie, just something to identify it. It just helps for, ranking for when we name the images something, which why we're naming them something. We'll click Export, or Continue, and then we're done with Adobe. So we basically saved a dumb file by hitting File Export on this to dumb down the file, and then we did the white background, and then we did this one. And now we have our files here, our dumb file, the white background, and this file. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to get onesies for we need to get mock-ups with like babies wearing the onesies. So there's a website called Place It. You'll have access to it. I recommend you have 2 tabs open for this. You'll see why in a second. So basically what you can do is when you go to Place It, you can just go to the main home screen. You can do one of 2 things. You can either come here and type in onesie into the search bar, and that'll give you baby onesies. I always recommend you search by best selling. It'll just give you ones to pull from. Just pick basically cute baby onesies. I use the same ones almost every single time because some just don't work. Like, to give you an example really quick, if I were to want to use, let's say, let's try to find one that I don't think would work. I don't think this one works for some reason. If I want to use this baby onesie, I would go click on it, and I would click Upload Onesie Design. Once it loads, upload from your device, and we'll find that 52 dumb. And this is why we have the dumb file. If I tried to upload that original Adobe file, it wouldn't upload because it's too big. So if the file is too big, it will not work, which is why we create the dumb file. As you see, when I upload this file, you can see how it's like, it looks wrong because the text doesn't go where it should go. And that's because this onesie is really made to have like a full all over print design. You can see there's like let's see if I go back. If I go to it, this onesie is really made to have like a full, you can see the sleeves have a design on it and stuff. It's not really made for that. Whereas if I go to like this girl up here, it's actually the same thing, but for whatever reason, this one works just fine. So I click Insert Image, Upload from Device, pick that dumb one. I'll click Crop. And it's still too big, but you can click this Resize button right here, move it up a little bit. Because our goal is just make everything look consistent. So, based off our Adobe, we made it about that big on that onesie. We just want to be, that looks pretty good. Maybe a smidge smaller, more centered, but you get the idea. Now, the second option you can do, instead of searching onesie, you can click My Downloads, and you can click here to see your downloads. And then these are all onesies we've used in the past. Now, most of these should work just fine. So you could also come in here and pull the onesies. We just kind of want to mix it up. So don't use the exact same onesies every single time. When you go through and work on these, feel free to use the same onesies over and over and over again for maybe this artwork. But then when you go to the next artwork, when you go to this one, 23, maybe pull a different onesie to work from. That way we kind of keep mixing up which mockup we're using. So we have the exact same baby coming up over and over and over again, if that makes sense. And now the reason I say have two tabs open is because we want to have two mockups for every single design. So for instance, for this design, we'll pick this girl and we'll want to click make more, actually, not download it again. And then I like to also do a short sleeve and a long sleeve mockup. You don't always need to do that, but you usually do a short sleeve and a long sleeve mockup. You can also do two short sleeve mockups if you want. But don't ever do two long sleeves. Always do at least one short sleeve mockup. And then the second one can either be a long sleeve or a short sleeve mockup, just whatever you want to do. So I'll do a short sleeve and a long sleeve mockup for right now. So here's the short sleeve one. I will actually just click the replace button because I want to change out the artwork to the new one. And then we'll click crop, see where it lands. As you can see, it's not in the right sizing. So you come in here and you move it up a little bit. Maybe you scale a little bit bigger. And then, so we're getting better. It needs to come this way a little bit, but it's definitely getting better. And then for the other one, we'll click replace and then upload our new one, move that up a little bit, click crop, and as you see, not even close to being correct. So let's try to shrink that down, probably somewhere in there, and you'll see to kind of play with it, but now it's too small, so we'll just pretend this is good enough so I can show you what we're doing. Okay, cool. So that's, getting better. Still not perfect, but better. So once you have it how you want it, you'll just click the download button, and we'll download this one. And we're going to wait for it to let us know when it's ready. It says it'll email us, but, I usually just wait because it's a lot easier. And I'll click here to download. I'll drag that here. We'll do the same one on this one. Download. And I'll click here to download. Okay, cool. And just like the other artworks, we're going to rename these so we can keep them all organized. So we're working on artwork 52. So I'll come in here, rename. We'll name it 52, like cute baby onesie. Just anything related to baby onesies. Doesn't really matter too much. And then we'll name this one 52, like cute baby whale bodysuit or onesie, whatever you want it to be. So now we're done. Those are all the pictures we need for the artwork. We have the one with the white background. We have the one with like the ships today thing on it. And then we have the dumb artwork, which is just, lower quality file. And then we have the two with the models. Once we have all the artwork done, we'll go to Adobe. And to kind of come back in from the outside, we will go to baby onesies. And then we have our folders here. Again, design uploads. This is where you download the artwork from that you're working on. I recommend you keep two folders open or two Adobe Clouds open. You have like one that you keep in design uploads and one you keep in print folder. It'll just be quicker. But for the sake of it, I'll just show you. So we go to print folder and then here's the artwork that we moved over here, 52B. We'll scroll down. You'll see the 1A pick mockups. Now you drag all these artworks that you just made, so all the 52s, and you put them into this folder. And then we're done. That's done. So now we have 52 for all the artworks that we needed. We have the artwork in here. We have the body mockups. Everything's good to go. Now what you do is you go through and do the same thing for 53. So we'd go in here. We would download. We need to go to the print folder. Oops, not the print folder. We need to go to the design uploads folder. And we were working on design 30. So we'd go in here. We go to design 30. Got a lot of folders. And we would download the next one. So we'd go here, we would download it, and then download the PNG. We would drag it here. We would then rename it to 53B. We would move it to this folder, so it's 53B. And then we'd go through and create our mockups. We would rename the mockups to, we'd create all the different mockups for 53. We'd have one where it's the dumb. We'd have this one. We would cycle through, we'd use a different mockup next time. So maybe we'd use mockup 2 instead. to kind of keep things moving, and then we create the two model mockups. It's very important that this number stays consistent. We need this to be 52. It's very, very important. Um, and then yeah, so or 53, whatever number you're working on, they all need to be consistent. So this 52 needs to be the same as this 52, right? Because that's the artwork number. So that needs to stay consistent at all times. When you're going through and creating these, for right now, yeah, just create like 5. If there's tons of artworks, like this one has tons and tons of artworks, just create like 5 out of this. Don't create all of them. And then once you created like 5, just move it to some live on Etsy, more for later, right? Because we have more designs to do later. Now, if you do another artwork, like let's say this one, 56, if I go and find the 56 artwork, I bet there'll just be one art. Nope, there's a lot of artworks in here. Okay, let's see if there's any that there's not tons of artworks for. I'm not seeing one. Let's pretend for a second there was just one artwork in here. So let's say none of these existed. It was just bonded for life artwork. After you made that single artwork, the only thing that changes is instead of moving the Trello card to live on Etsy, more for later, just move it to live on Etsy. Because what that means is there's no more for later. We don't need to go back and create more in the future. That's something that changes. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I think we should be good to go.